Hey guys, greetings from the Golan Heights. Wanted to take a few minutes and share something with you about 2023. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline starting January 1. We're about to announce a bunch of new things, and we're really excited for that. In light of that, we wanted to share with you something that went out a couple weeks ago. We sent out a letter about 2 weeks ago, I think now, to our core group of financial supporters and donors who have really funded FAI and kept this work alive over the last 10, 12 years since the birth of FAI. And we let them know that we're attempting to raise a significant sum of money before the end of 2022 to set us up for 2023 to set a number of things in motion. Specifically, we're trying to raise $3 million. Now, beautifully, between then and now, about a third of that has come in. So now it's been whittled down to about $2 million, which is still a significant sum of money. But to put it into perspective for you so that you're aware of the financial, let's say, burden that's on FAI organizationally of working in the 1040 window in the Middle East, our monthly operating budget, it swings between $250,000 a month to about $500,000 a month. That's our kind of monthly budget, field budget. Now, one of the things that we're really proud of in the Lord is that we don't have a home office. We don't have a central office somewhere. We don't have overhead. We don't have brick and mortar overhead going on. And we have a very, very tiny paid staff for the size of our organization and our organizational budget, meaning the majority of our resources is going to the field, going to field workers. Now, something interesting has happened over the last, let's say, 5 years or so. And that is this. The majority of our operations initiatives work in the 1040 window today has changed. In the past, we could pretty much disclose everything, talk about everything publicly, where we're doing it, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and share the fruit of it. But the reality has changed in the Middle East. The landscape has changed, and our work has exponentially grown, which means the sensitivities have grown as well, because now we're working among let's say, people groups who don't get along with each other very well. So the sensitivities are at an all-time high. What that means is this. As an organization, we are predominantly now an organization that's comprised of non-disclosed leaders pioneering non-disclosed initiatives in non-disclosed locations around the Middle East in the 1040 window, which means this. There is a significant challenge of raising funds for something that you can't talk about and you can't tell anyone about. And back in the day, we could just, pump out a video or a documentary about it and show the world what's happening, and people can think about it, feel it, pray about it, and give to it or not. But how do you do that when you can't share the name or the face or the initiative or the fruit of the initiative or the location where that individual is operating because of the sensitivities of what they're doing? That's where we're at as an organization. Now, the game changer for us was the FAI app. The FAI app was the game changer a number of years ago. Why? Because it brought in tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands and even millions of people who are now connected to the FAI mission, values, family, mandate, who are getting connected and who are doing something very simple but very profound, which is supporting FAI at $5 a month. Sounds crazy, but this has changed the game for us as an organization, which means this. One of the most effective ways that we can monthly fund FAI is by connecting more people to the message and the Maranatha mandate. And the more people get connected and the more people are going to hear the possibility that they can give $5 a month. That's what has changed the game for us. And so now we're not dependent upon traveling and hitting the streets and raising support and spending all of our time. For years, this is what I did as my primary mandate, was supporting our field workers and our teams on the ground in the Middle East by me just going out and trying to raise the funds for them to support them so they could keep their head down, they could just work. And the thing is, our work outgrew what me and the board of directors and our leadership team could produce on a fundraising level. We just couldn't do it. And the crazy thing is, once someone gives a massive amount of money, we spend it and it's gone. And so we said, we have to have another way of doing this, meaning diversified passive income that's going to come in that we can funnel it to the field, that we're not dependent upon what we can muster up through traditional donor development and fundraising means. And the primary way that we've been able to do that is through the FAI app and giving away free resources that pulls people in like a magnet and connects them to the work of the organization. So in light of that, what we're trying to do in 2023 and what we're going to do in 2023 is we're laying infrastructure, not overhead, but laying infrastructure to significantly expand and accelerate the free resources available on the FAI app that are in turn going to connect more people to the mission of FAI, which in turn is going to exponentially grow the FAI field budget on the ground in the 1040 window. So this $3 million is not going to, buy something in Iraq or Syria or Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia. That's not what this is for. This is for laying infrastructure to support and to assist our non-disclosed workers working in non-disclosed locations, pioneering non-disclosed initiatives so that we can raise income for them. Now, I'm very proud of this also in the Lord, is that we don't spend any money on fundraising. Now, this is a very common thing in the nonprofit world, is you spend somewhere between 50 to 75% of your budget on fundraising. So in other words, if you bring in $10 million a year, you're spending $7.5 million a year to raise $10 million a year. And this is just kind of the metrics of the fundraising nonprofit world. We said from the very beginning of FAI, we're not going to do that. We're going to follow in the footsteps of Hudson Taylor. We're going to put the need out there, let people pray about it, consider it, and if it resonates with them, we'll hit the road, and awesome. And if it doesn't, the Lord will provide by some other means. But it's in His hands, and we're not going to enter the shark-infested waters of fundraising and spending donor money to go make more donors. It's not something that we're interested in, and we don't think it's something that, let's just say it's not for us. Not to be judgmental of other organizations that do that, but this is not something that we want to do. So up until now, we haven't spent any organizational money on any of the media, on the films, on the teachings, on the app, on the resources. Everything has gone to the field. And we've privately raised the funding through a small group of supporters and financiers who've funded those initiatives, knowing that it's going to grow the platform and connect more people to the field. Everything is about the field in the end. So what we're trying to do through raising this $3 million is actually to set the landscape and set the infrastructure in place for the next year so that we can see a rapid and significant acceleration and expansion of all things FAI. Everything from documentaries to narrative films to music to teaching series. Now, before, like once or twice a month, we'd have a teaching. Now there's going to be a teaching every single day. Every day of the week, there's going to be a new teaching, a new resource, new podcasts. Every week, there's going to be resources released of short film content. There's going to be documentaries released every quarter. There's going to be feature films released every year. There's going to be albums. There's going to be podcasts. We're launching a new outfitter and supply company store. We're launching events and conferences, new training programs. There's a wealth of stuff that's coming, but there is an initial overhead and startup to this thing. But the beautiful thing about it is the resources that are going into it, meaning if you support this financially, it's going to generate income for the field. It's not as though we're spending it and it's gone. You're going to spend what you give into this thing. It's going to generate resource that's going to go to the field. So what we have seen over the last number of years as we've beta tested the model is that our field income goes up as we do certain things. It just goes up when we do certain things. And the simple thing, the beautiful simplicity of this is we believe in these things at a very with a lot of passion, meaning Bible teachings, good film, good music, good publishing, good art, all these things that proclaim the Maranatha message. The beautiful thing is it's like holding up a banner that people can gather around the banner. And so this is what this budget is going to, is raising up a very high banner of the Maranatha message in the 1040 window to draw as many people into around this bonfire, so to speak, as possible, so that we can fund with strategic resources, strategic works in places where we can no longer divulge the details about what we're doing and what the fruit of it is. And it burdens me because the stories are remarkable and the impact and the fruit of it is just absolutely beautiful, but we can't talk about it. And there's something beautiful in that. I think there's something about the hiddenness in the Lord's heart that he loves to hide things. He loves to show off, but the Lord also loves to hide things. And this is where he works out so many mysterious purposes on the earth, is in hiddenness and obscurity. And I'll close by saying this. FAI today is comprised of some of the most beautiful, radiant, selfless, incredible, courageous people who are living lives of obscurity, pouring themselves out in some of the most difficult places in the world. Because here's the thing, guys, all the easy places have been reached. All the places that are left are all the impossible places, and that's where these people are. And so me and the board of directors and the FAI leadership team, we've taken this on and we said, you know what, this is what we're going to do for the next 10 years. We're going to break our backs to raise every single penny that those guys need to do what they need to do so that they can keep their head down, not worry about resources, and just focus on the task at hand, to bring in strategic resources for strategic work at the ends of the earth, at the end of the age. So I want to ask you guys to consider, before the end of the year, giving to this 2023 budget. So I want to ask you if this resonates with you, if this is something that your heart connects with, if you feel like this is something that you want to invest into, click on the link below. Or if you're watching on the app, there should be a button beneath the video. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box below. You can give safely and securely. Guys, thank you for watching this. Thank you for caring. Thank you for considering investing. And I also want to emphasize this: everything matters. You might be saying $2 million. That's huge. I can't contribute. I can't put a dent in that thing because of where I'm at. It's not the size of the gift that matters. Everybody gives according to their means and gives extravagantly based on their means. Meaning, extravagant is not how much you can give. Extravagant is relative and contextual to what you have and what the Lord's given you. And as an organization, as a spiritual family, our goal is to be extravagant and generous with our time, our resources, our blood, our lives, and everything that we have, and to take every collective resource that we have as a spiritual family and an organization, and to throw everything we've got into the Romans 15 mandate of laying foundations where there are none. So guys, thank you for watching this. Again, click on the links below if you'd like to give today, and we'll keep you posted on the updates and the progress of the campaign before we get to the end of the year. Thanks for watching. Maranatha.